Hello and welcome to the Huddle. Liam Santamaria back with you as we finish off the second month of NBL 23. A couple of teams sitting pretty, the top three holding strong at the top of the table. The Jack Jumpers solid as ever at 500. And a couple of teams starting to make their run. The Southeast Melbourne Phoenix, one of those, and also the Adelaide 36ers, who have made some changes to their roster and are starting to make a move. Part of that on the back of improved play from Robert Franks, who is operating right now at an elite MVP type of level. And he joins me on the show today. So sit back, relax. Up next, Robert Franks. Robo, what's happening, mate? Thanks for joining me.
What's up, Liam? Appreciate you for having me.
I'm good. Hey, first things first, got to get this sorted from the outset. Is Coach Bruton around? Are you and I a chance to have like an uninterrupted conversation here, or is CJ going to come in like post-game in Phoenix and kind of cut us off?
Nah, it's just me. It's just me and you one-on-one.
Okay, good stuff. This is your day off today, mate. You've carved out some space on your day off. Good man.
Yes, sir. Get a little dialogue with you.
What does a day off for Robo in South Australia look like?
To be honest, not even really a day off. This morning I got in some shots. Then I worked on a little speed and agility with our strength coach, and now I'm obviously, relaxing and resting for the rest of the day. But I'm always on go. I'm a hoop junkie, so every day I'm gonna try to take advantage of it.
Nice. Who was in the gym with you? Who else gets in on those days off?
Today it was me, AC worked out together with one of our DPs, Cam, and on the opposite side of the court it was Nick Marshall, which he's a gym rat, and Sunday as well. And Hiram was there. So those three are they beat me to the gym. So I love that.
Okay, nice. I mentioned it's about 2 months down. It's been a bit of a roller coaster of a season for most teams, but certainly for you guys so far. How are you? What's the word? How are you enjoying? How have you enjoyed the season to this point?
Yeah. So far, obviously, we've had some adversity to start the season that, you don't really want to have during the season, but obviously it comes with the season. So to me, man, it's fun. It's fun just to, see the challenges that you have to conquer, and just try to figure that puzzle out, with your team, your chemistry, and by the end of the year, you want to have everything fine line. So to me, I like it.
I mentioned before off the top that you and Southeast Melbourne, you feel like the teams that are kind of like starting to build some momentum into your season. Is that what it feels like for you, that you guys are just kind of like starting to get going here?
100%. We had a slow start, and now we're winning some games. Obviously, it's like win, loss, win, loss. Now we need to try to string some games along. But I like the direction we're at. We're almost halfway in the season, and at this point in the season is when you want to kind of peak as a team, and I think we're close.
It's weird to sort of talk about having a tough start to the season because, yeah, it was that off the very start of the regular season, but 134 to 124. You know what I'm talking about when I say those numbers. When you reflect back now, 2 months later on that night, what comes to mind?
I would say confidence. You were there with us throughout that whole trip leading up to that game. Like, I felt like everybody just had extreme confidence in one another, had confidence of going out there and being on the same court as the Suns. And then, we just all kind of put it together. And obviously, when you have confidence and things get rolling, it can get scary. And it happened that night for us.
Having that night for you as well in a big, big way, 32 points, 55% from the field, 6 of 10 from long range. Have you ever just when you consider the moment, the stage that you were on. I mean, I know you've come from the NBA, you've played regular season games in the NBA, you've won a G League championship, but the fact that it was you were representing this whole other league doing what you were doing and absolutely on fire in that moment, is that the best you've ever felt on a basketball court in terms of like getting your flow?
Absolutely. Like you hit it on the nail, like just the atmosphere, the stage, who you're playing, who you're representing. All of our show you're watching, rooting for you guys to succeed and to go out there and to do what we did. It was very special. It was very special, and I would say up until now, like that's probably my biggest moment so far now in my basketball career.
That is pretty cool, man. That's cool. When for a guy who's actually played NBA regular season games, as I said, had that championship experience, that was your highlight is really
Yeah.
cool. Of course, you guys wouldn't have won had Craig Randall not also caught fire. Now, you had a whole bunch of guys playing well. Macca had 16 assists in that game. Goodness gracious. But Craig had 35 and he hit 9 triples. Can you believe that we've kind of gone from there to here, or to where what happened 3 weeks ago? Have you been able to reconcile that in your mind?
Um, a little bit. I think now it's starting to settle in within the team and everything. But it's obviously crazy to think about, and kind of unfortunate. He was spectacular that night. And he was spectacular, in his NBL 5 or 6 games that he played with us. So obviously it's hard, to see a guy like that, and it's unfortunate to see a guy like that, not be with us anymore. But as professionals, as a club, it's just something that we have to just move on from. But while we're on that topic, I wish nothing but the best for him.
For sure. And I echo that sentiment. I'm speaking of moving on. You guys have been moving on, and you can sort of see it in the way that you're playing. There's an energy and an atmosphere. The ball has energy all of a sudden, and you guys have energy between each other. I mean, how would you describe the change in the mood and the vibe within the group over this last few weeks?
Oh man, it's been night and day. It's definitely been night and day for us. I think the biggest thing for us is, we know how talented we have, a talented group that we have. And now I just think now is just our sense of urgency is there to start games on the defensive end, like just those little things to win basketball games. I think it's finally starting to click for us, and hopefully we just keep that thing rolling.
It's clicking for you right now as well. Averaging around 17-7 on the season, but that's like 21-8 over the last 5 games or so. It's 60% from the field. I mean, how are you feeling on the floor right now in terms of finding your spots and getting your game going?
The last recent 4 or 5 games, I felt really good. My teammates, CJ, just putting me in situations to be successful. But I'm hard on myself, man. So if you ask me how I'm doing, I'm gonna probably tell you, all right. I feel like I could still do a little bit more. But I just like where the team's at. How the ball's moving, the spirit. Those things just help me play better. So, I got to really, give hats off to my teammates and, just to how we're gelling. Because if it wasn't for them, I wouldn't be able to perform how I'm performing.
What are those bits about your own game that you're nitpicking at the moment?
I just think that I'm a 3-point shooter. I'm a shooter. And like right now, I'm just not shooting it. I would say just the volume. I'm only taking probably 2 to 3 threes a game right now, and that's just how teams are scouting me and how things are being played. But that's just a challenge for me. Just to move pieces around and find where I can get my shots. And I know I'm a 40% 3-point shooter. So at the end of the year, When you look on paper, I really feel like, you'll see 40%, and then I'll be happier with my game.
Okay, 40% on a nice volume. That'll be a beautiful thing. Hey, can we talk about Anthony Drimmick for a
Oh my
second?
gosh, yes, sir, Dream Dog.
How's your boy Drim playing?
He's been playing fantastic, man. He's been giving us that extra spirit, that extra boost on both sides of the ball. He's playing with extreme confidence, and it's translating from practice to games, and I'm just happy for him. He's getting that opportunity, and he's running with it.
He really is. What was it? 14 and 6 against Perth. His career high assist was 7. Just so you know, he had that with you in Brisbane last season. What a great punch off the bench. And then you talk about, well, not off the bench, he's starting now. Sunday, that play he had, the steal in the backcourt, and then drops the 3. Like, feels like there's a little bit of more space within the team for these kind of guys to do their thing a little bit right now.
100%, 100%. And those guys, I consider them alpha dogs. They go out there and they just leave it all on the court, especially on defense. And that's how I really, give high praise to them, because they come in and they just change the game. They change that atmosphere of the game just by how aggressive they are. Like that play you said, Sunday picking up full court, gets the steal, and then has the confidence to drain that 3. So, I'm just really pleased with them, and hopefully, they can continue to play at their form and just continue to help us win basketball games.
So all that begs the question, and it's sort of part of the question I think that's bubbling around a lot of people right now thinking about your squad. I think there's 2 questions. One is, well, do they need a third import? They've got that spot. Maybe they don't need it. Maybe they're vibing without it. And then the other one is, well, if they do need one and they do decide to get one, which it seems is happening, what should that be? But what's your sort of thoughts on that first part of that question?
I think it just shows how good we are, that people are able to say, they can do without a third import. That just shows you our depth, our talent in this group. But I think for the long haul, it would be smart to get a third import, especially when you talk about trying to get into that top 4 at the end of the year, and trying to make a deep playoff run. I think it would only be beneficial for us to have that third import there, especially when you talk about needs and having a backup point guard to help Mac and not put everything on his shoulders. So I think it would be smart of us to go get a third import, but obviously it just gives credit to this team, that people can say they can go do it with just 2 imports.
Is Ian Clark available? Do you know?
It's crazy. Me and AC we had a chat about that earlier when we were shooting. We are like, where is he at? Why didn't he go back to Sydney or stay in the NBL? So that's a good piece. Obviously what he did last year to help Sydney was very remarkable for them, and he's a winner. He showed it that he can win at the highest level.
Because I was thinking, all right, so let's say they decide to do it, which is like it seems as though that's what's happening there. That's what CJ's been saying, and he's been talking about how he's going to talk with you guys about who it could potentially be. And I was thinking, oh, well, who or what should it be? Firstly, it's like what type of guy, and that's clear. You guys are really starting to get some chemistry going right now. So it needs to be someone that will buy into whatever role is given to them, and then. Secondly, I was thinking the same thing. A guy who could give some scoring punch off the bench, but can also be a secondary ball handler. And I was thinking, my God, that's Ian Clark. Like what he brought to Sydney as a mid-season recruit to replace RJ Hunter, in terms of everything they talked about, the kind of guy he was and the buy-in he had. And then, of course, Jalen Adams went down in the grand final series, and they barely missed a beat because Ian started handling the ball. That's forgetting Ian Clark for a second. That sort of encapsulates the kind of guy you think you need.
Absolutely. You want a guy that that's obviously good high character that can come in and gel with the team immediately and not have a downfall, with the chemistry and how things are flowing. But obviously you need a guy that can make shots when it's needed and not be a liability on defense, but obviously can run the team. So I think you're hitting it on the head. I don't think it's not a secret of what we need. It's kind of just going to get that perfect fit for us.
Hey, we were talking on NBL Overtime this morning about the bigs in this league right now, and the congestion that exists for a potential All NBL first team in that front line. It was interesting over the offseason, we lost some bigs, right? Like Joe Lawala-Chul and Jarrell Martin, and people are, oh, well, maybe the league's kind of going in a different direction. And I think that's true. Like, you guys that are at the 4 and the 5 are like ultra mobile at the moment, like you and X and Cooks, Jarrell Brantley. You must be enjoying the nightly battles that you're having at that 4 spot over the course of this league.
Absolutely. Obviously it just shows you how good this league is, but I think, in my opinion, that versatile 4, that versatile big is, I think, the toughest position right now in this league. Night in and night out, like you're saying, you're gonna face a talented guy on every team every night, that can play inside out and is versatile with the ball and is not really just one dimensional. So, I love it as a competitor.
Yeah. And I think, and this is not for you to comment on, but are those teams that maybe don't have that elite level guy at that spot are finding it difficult, like Creaky did his thing yesterday in that type of scenario. Jarrell Brantley did his thing on Sunday in that type of scenario. So I think you're right. Who out of all of those Cooks and Creaky and Jarrell, like these kind of guys, do you enjoy going up against as a competitor?
I wouldn't really single out just one person. I'm a guy that every night I'm trying to compete with regardless who's on the other side. So I wouldn't really put a name to it. I just enjoy going out there and competing.
Hey, we spoke earlier about your history playing at Orlando and in the NBA, and we spoke about that incredible night you had in Arizona earlier this season. You must have got some phone calls. Your agent must have got some calls and saying, "Hey, just so you know, like, people took notice of what happened last night." But where does all that sit for you heading into this off season?
The ultimate goal, and talking to CJ and Adelaide coming here, my goal was to have a chance to get back to the NBA. So that's my ultimate goal, but I know that it's going to have to come with the results of this year, on how we win, how successful this team goes, and when it matters, obviously in the world of sports. So not going to get too carried away with it, and I'm gonna let the off season come, and wherever the dominoes fall, they may fall, but right now it's all about just winning, and just getting back on that trajectory, because just winning solves every problem.
All right. Well, speaking about winning in the right now, how big a weekend is this coming up for the Adelaide 36ers? Cairns and Sydney on the slate.
It's huge. It's huge. It's second and third on the ladder. It could change a lot. Just not with us, but with the ladder as well. So it's a huge week. We know it's a huge week, and we're preparing to go to battle.
Love it, man. I was thinking as I was driving home before, because I was on the show and I'm like, Adelaide are getting ready to go on a roll here. And then I looked at the schedule and I was like, oh, hold on, Kansas Sydney. Okay, hold on. Am I right? And then I thought, whoa, what would that look like if they went 2-0 this weekend? And it would be what? 4 wins of your last 5. Could have had that game in New Zealand had Barry Brown not hit that shot off the backboard late. So good luck, man. It could completely change. Like you say, can change everything in a big way, and especially for you guys for the rest of your season.
Absolutely. Absolutely. Thank you. Thank you, Liam, for having me.
Hey, great to chat, man. And we'll speak again soon.
Yes, sir. You have a good one.